I don't want to share with my wife. That is right, I said it, I sound like a dick, but I have a reason. Listen, what's going on everyone? I am Matt Pendergraph, and in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing, assembling, and sharing my thoughts with you on the Delta PLT 4-tier vertical plate tree by Synergy Custom Fitness. That is quite the mouthful. But anyways, if that sounds interesting to you, you're not going to want to go anywhere. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. If you enjoy home gym related content, that's pretty much all I do here. So you might as well go ahead and subscribe and get that out of the way. So I can already hear some of you in the comment section saying, Matt, really? A plate tree video? Come on, man. How'd you get so handsome? And to those of you, I would say, thank you. I appreciate that. This is not just an ordinary weight tree. This right here is the Cadillac. It's the top tier of weight trees. And in this video, I'm going to show you why. And now we're going to do something extremely fun. We're going to play a wonderful game called Who is Synergy Custom Fitness and What Do They Do? That's right, baby. A little Arnold action, a little kindergarten cop for you. Basically, Synergy Custom Fitness provides storage solutions for all of your gym-related needs, such as weight plates, dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells, all of that jazz. They don't just offer plate trees. They offer all sorts of trees, all sorts of rack configurations. Definitely check them out if you are in the market for some serious storage power. And to further top things off, not only do they have a large selection of gym-related storage solutions to choose from, all of those solutions are available in a whole plethora of colors. That is right. Your dumbbell rack can match your power rack. You can practically match everything in your gym, from your windows to your walls, and let the sweat drop down your. One final thing, and I'll quit the yammer and we can get to opening up some boxes. I do have a discount code with Synergy Custom Fitness, so if you want to pick up this or anything else they have to offer, use code MATTP to save 21%. That's a whole lot of dough. So as you can see here, the weight tree arrived to me in a total of 5 boxes, which may or may not be the case with you. It ultimately depends on which configuration you go with. Again, I went with their 4-tier variant. So this long box right here is the center tubing. The big box at the bottom is going to be the base, the platform to the entire operation. These 2 boxes are the weight horns. If I were guessing, I'd say it's 4 and 4 horns. And this box should contain 2 barbell holders. So yeah, once this thing is fully assembled, it's going to be one heck of a plate tree. So I thought this was pretty clever. When I was unwrapping the weight horns, I noticed they have what appear to be 5/8 inch holes on them, yet they're gonna mount to the 1-inch holes that are on the post, which doesn't make any sense. How's that gonna work? Well, I'll show you. Synergy, what they have done is basically welded on these reducers onto the backside of this bracket. These reducers are going to fit nicely into the 1-inch holes. This whole thing's going to be seated perfectly. It's not really going to move at all. And it's going to effectively reduce that hole from a 1-inch hole down to, like I said, I think this is 5/8. So very cool, very clever. What that does for you, the end consumer, is it basically keeps the cost down. If they didn't do this, they'd be using 1-inch hardware, which is complete overkill, and it's going to cost you that much more. So kudos to them. I like this. Okay, so everything has been unpackaged and just kind of sprawled out here onto the gym floor. And I gotta say, it all looks great from what I'm seeing so far. I didn't notice any scuffs, scratches, any sort of damage like that. Obviously, I'll keep you in the loop if I see anything during the assembly process, but honestly, I really didn't expect to see any damage just because of how well everything is packaged, like within their individual boxes. Plus the fact that this ships to you in multiple boxes as opposed to a large singular heavy box. That alone usually mitigates a lot of the potential risk of it seeing some sort of damage, along its travels. So anyways, all there is left to do now is to assemble this thing and throw some weight plates on it. Yeah. So this is embarrassing. Apparently I spoke too soon. I'm assembling the weight tree, I'm attaching the post to the base, and it's just not fitting properly. Upon further inspection, turns out this corner took a massive hit during transit. I say massive because this is 11 gauge steel. It's really thick stuff, and it got hit so hard that it's like warped inward and it's preventing it from seating properly. It is what it is. I do not fault Synergy at all. They did a great job packaging this up, but I mean, someone along the way was just careless and slammed it down, whatever. So anyways, I will reach out to Synergy, see what they say. I'm fairly confident they're just probably going to replace this post if I were guessing. But I guess I'm going to have to put this project on hold for a few days until I hear back from them, and we will go from there. Yeah. Listen, I am back and I'm sporting a fresh new haircut that I don't want to talk about, but I appreciate you noticing. You're very sweet. So here we go. Last I said we were going to be reaching out to Synergy because I had the damaged upright. I did. They were super quick, responsive. I told them what was up, sent them over some photos. They were like, hey, we hated that this happened. We're sorry about this. We're going to send out a replacement upright ASAP. Well, here we are, fast forward like 10 days later. I've got the replacement upright. I haven't opened it up yet. I want to do so on camera just in case there are any issues. I really don't suspect that there will be, although it would be kind of funny, sort of, just a little bit. If I crack it open and maybe it's damaged again, just no, why does this keep happening? I'm hoping that there's no damage, just to make that very clear. I do want to take a moment to say kudos to Synergy. That level of aftercare, that after support, they did not have to help me here. They could have said, it left our warehouse in pristine condition, it got to you, it's damaged, that's between you and the carrier. We're gonna wash our hands of this. Thankfully, that's not the case. They stepped up, they took it, they're like, we're gonna make this right. And here we are. So to me, that's the difference in like a good company or a pretty good company and a great company. So again, huge shout out to them. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, that is enough talking. Let's start assembling. All right, we are unboxed and it looks fantastic. Nice and square, exactly what we want. Now allow me a moment to share with you some thoughts that I have about the weight horns included with the weight tree. First off, they measure 12 inches in length. That's plenty of real estate for me and my plate storage needs. I can't speak towards you. I'm not in your gym. It is what it is. Break out a tape measure, measure them bad boys. Secondly, this tube appears to be about 1.5 inches in diameter. I think that is the sweet spot when it comes to the ease of loading and unloading plates. You can kind of hit it from an angle and sloppily throw them on, as opposed to having to get straight on and be a little more precise with it. So very cool, just something I wanted to point out to you. So obviously the entire point of a weight plate storage tree is to store weight plates. That is right, I should not be telling you something that you don't already know, but I wanted to squeeze just a little more juice out of that puppy, and that's why I decided to pick up not one, but 2 of their vertical barbell storage attachments. And as you can tell, these things look a little bit different. And the reason being is that this one is made to mount to the base of the tree, while this one will mount to the center post that the weight plates are attached to. So in theory, once mounted, the barbell will run right in between the weight plates. Should be pretty cool if it works. Fingers crossed. Actually, I'm not even worried, it's gonna work. Just like that, I am finished assembling this monstrosity of a weight tree, and I gotta say, I love how freakishly tall it is. I love the overall quality of it, the fit and finish, it's great. As it should be, because this thing is not cheap. It's in its own little realm when it comes to like plate storage, but I do feel like you are getting what you pay for. I mean, overall, this thing is super nice. So all there is left to do though, I gotta put some weight plates on here, obviously, drop in a couple of bars, and we are ready to rock. That's right, you see this? We're rocking. But as far as the assembly process, I thought it was relatively easy, straightforward. Didn't really have to utilize the instructions too much. I did have to double check that I had the spacing correct of these horns, because I do plan on dropping bumper plates on these horns. And I wanted to make sure, because as you know, they're a larger diameter plate, that when I put them on here, they're not crashing into each other or anything stupid like that. So we should be good to go there. Now, a burning question that might be on your mind is, why did I even bring in dedicated plate storage when I have 2 perfectly good racks with integrated plate storage? And the answer is simple. I don't want to share with my wife. That is right, I said it, I sound like a dick, but I have a reason. Listen, I brought this in primarily for her. She has her own plates, her own bars, as do I. If I don't give her her own space, her own little private islands to meet her needs, that means that all of her stuff ends up on my rack, which means if I want to get some of my plates off, I've got to pull hers off to get to mine. Granted, I could kind of congest some of my stuff, double up or whatever, but then that's stupid because then I got to take 25s off to get to 45s, or it's a mess. It's convoluted. I'm trying to avoid all of that. And plus it's going to make life easier for her too, because if my plates are in front of her plates, she's just going to get mad, and I don't blame her. So this is me avoiding potential conflict. Friction, convolution, is that even a word? I don't even know, but I'm saying it. That's what marriage is all about, is avoiding conflicts. Let that be a lesson to you. I love my wife. I am not a dick. I have a reason. I'm doing this for the sake of our marriage and the love and that sacred bond, the I do's that we said. I'm talking too much. I'm going to stop. So I'm loading up this weight tree, and I am immediately greeted by the protruding hardware used to secure the weight horns to the upright. And I gotta admit, I don't love what I'm seeing. What will happen, this hardware will eventually start chewing into the plates. Doesn't matter if they're rubber, cast, makes no difference. I've seen it happen. It gouges it up nice and pretty. It sucks. What I would suggest is that Synergy includes some spacers with these weight trees to prevent that from happening. They'll slide over the post like such, put your plate on there, and boom, it creates a nice little barrier between the plate and the hardware, thus preventing any sort of damage. This right here, this is a cheap and easy 3D print job. This is nothing to make, and yet it will have such a large impact. So yeah. Something that I failed to mention earlier when I was talking about these barbell holder attachments is the fact that there is no plastic lining inside of them. Therefore, if metal on metal contact is not your bag, baby, you're probably not gonna like what's going on here. An obvious suggestion that I would make is that Synergy include plastic lining inside of these by default. Either that or maybe offer a lined and an unlined version. That way the consumer can pick whichever one fancies them. That being said, I totally understand why they're not including lining in this, just because of the simple fact that when you put a weight plate on a barbell, that is metal on metal contact. What the piss is the difference? I don't know, I can't tell you. All I know is that it bothers a lot of people, myself included, which is why I'm bringing this up in the first place. So yeah, food for thought. So to me, the most obvious advantage of this weight tree is how configurable it truly is in comparison to others on the market. You're not stuck with some default out-of-the-box setup. The weight horns, for instance, when you go to install them, you can choose the spacing to whatever suits you and your needs. And then of course, you can add a variety of attachments that Synergy offers, such as a landmine, a battle rope anchor. Obviously, I've got some barbell holders. I mean, the sky truly is the limit here. If you can dream it, that's right, buddy, you can achieve it. And so yeah, with all that being said, it almost begs the question, is this just a weight tree or is it something more? I don't know. It scares me to think about it though. All right, so I have probably dragged this out long enough. It is time to wrap this video up. Overall, this is a very well built, highly modular weight tree that stands out for its customization and configurability. This in no way is considered a budget plate tree. Therefore, if you're looking for the cheapest way to just store some plates, this isn't going to be for you. But if you value quality, customization, and equipment that keeps your gym looking and functioning cohesively as it evolves, this makes a lot of sense in my opinion. That is it. We are done. We are through. I appreciate you watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed yourself along the way. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like button for me, because after all, that is why it exists. Like I said, I do have a discount code with Synergy Custom Fitness, which I will be linking in the description of today's video. So if you do make a purchase, don't be stupid. Use the code, save yourself some money. You will not regret it. Other than that, until next time. Oh, these are your lunches? You mean you ate other people's lunches? Stop it!